it attacks him, and then he's laying up under it as the blood's dripping down and burning him. Roll out the way. What you doing? Like, I get it. Yes, it's acid. Your eye hurts.
Roll out the way.
Welcome back to Eat Sleep Nerd. This is our spoiler discussion of Alien Romulus. If you have not seen our spoiler-free review video, go check that out up there in the top right corner. Or go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/eatsleepnerd to find that video. It's just the Alien Romulus spoiler-free review. So, we're going to talk spoilers. We're going to talk about the storyline and all that good stuff. So if you have not seen this movie yet and you care about what's going to happen in the movie, you should probably stop watching right now, but also come back and discuss it with us. So
wait.
Yes. All right. I'm your dorky DJ, Corey Winter. We got Christian James. We got Josh Winter. So we have all seen Alien Romulus.
Yes.
We just talked about the review.
Yes.
We all liked it.
Mm-hmm.
We did. A 4.03 out of 5.
Yep.
So good time. But let's talk spoilers. So we were talking about stuff that we would improve with this movie, which kept it from being a perfect 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
So Josh, why don't you kick us off? What were you going to change?
It should not have been an interquel.
Interquel.
It should have just taken place next chronologically in the movie. It should have been a sequel to, I guess, Resurrection.
Resurrection
is technically the last chronologically.
Which honestly would have been fine because like that story just kind of stopped. Like it was not like a end point.
Because, and the biggest thing for me is the fact that it is an integral doesn't hurt it. It's just that, again, it prevents you from pushing the mythos forward.
It's boxed in. Yeah.
For example, here's your first big spoiler. The human hybrid at the end. Mm-hmm. I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere because it can't. You know, like I knew that this was going to, at the very least, we're going to kill it.
Yeah.
Whether or not the main character dies doing it, sure, that's still up in the air. But I just know that nothing can come of that.
Yeah.
Because there are 18 movies after it that say nothing came of it. So I think I get why they did it. Because they kind of wanted to take it back to the same era as the original movies. I completely understand. From a narrative standpoint, I think it hurt. Because it boxed in what you could do.
I'll agree with that. But at the same time, though, I like how they brought it in because it was using the same alien that Ripley put into the airlock at the end of the first movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
But if it's drifting in space, it can drift in space for a few hundred years.
True.
Yeah.
Like, especially
that's
when we...
That's a good point.
Especially when we...
it?
Yeah, like, especially when we bring in... We literally have a great cameo from Ian Holm as the android, which we're going to talk about that more in a second. But he even literally says that when these guys are deprived of oxygen and food, they just hibernate.
Yeah.
So there's literally no narrative reason why they couldn't have just put this at the end.
That is a very good point.
They actually went out of their way to explain that they very much could have put it at the end. And that would have allowed you to really push things forward.
Why did they do that?
It feels counterintuitive once you stop and think about it, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
And again, because again, I'm going to have criticisms in this one, but only because I liked it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, if it was trash, I wouldn't have given a toot. And it's like, so you know what I mean? Like, I gave it essentially a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I'm a little frustrated because with a very few tweaks, could have been a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Or a 10 out of 10. It could have been amazing.
Yeah.
Instead of just, no, it was really good. You should go see it.
Yeah.
It would have been, what are you doing? Go see this movie.
That's a very good point. Also, it smells like paint fumes in here.
Yeah, the table is not dry.
Yeah.
It is dry to the touch. It is not cured. So no, to me, that was the weakest point.
Yeah.
And any other problems I had with it literally sprang from, I think, that decision. Because literally everything else that I liked about the movie would have still worked if it was dead last. Even Ian Holm's cameo still works. He's an android.
Yeah, let's go and talk about that real quick.
Like you can boot him up whenever.
Yeah, there's a lot of criticism that it was just a cheap cameo. I'm just like,
It
he's
really-
an android.
it
And they
really
even said in
wasn't.
the first movie that it's a series of, and it's not just a single android.
Correct.
Like-
Yeah, like it is that is his model.
Yeah.
And so no, 100%. I thought that was great.
Mhm.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I do not know if Ian Holm actually played him. I mean, obviously the actual character was digital,
Right.
or at least heavily altered.
Yeah.
But I mean, his voice sounded like Ian Holm,
That was probably the one spot of the movie that,
but only at the
felt
beginning of it.
yeah.
Like, it's the weird. That's the funny thing. That's what hit me weird.
Yeah.
Is the longer it went on and the more you saw of him, he looked really good. But it was like literally that first time when they turned him on, like that was
Yeah.
the single visual effects shot that I felt like wasn't very good.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at to see if he
And
was-
that's the one that I would have made sure we nailed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did pass away. Yeah, he is not alive anymore.
Okay. I didn't know he passed.
Oh wow.
But it says posthumous role, so maybe he did do the role, but he's since passed.
Or they used recordings of his voice to train an AI to sound like him.
He passed
So
away.
he still gets credit.
He passed away in 2020, so definitely before this movie was shot.
Wow.
I didn't know he died.
Mhm.
Now I feel bad. Rest in peace, dude.
Yeah, so definitely wasn't him. But
Old Bilbo's
considering
dead.
considering that wasn't him,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
That's cool. So which I mean, to me, again, the voice was more impressive than.
It says facial
the
and
character.
vocal reference, so maybe they used that.
That's what I'm saying. I think
Yeah.
they got permission to use the reference materials.
Yeah.
And he got credit for the role he originated, which I think is probably the best way we could do that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But anyway, again, like he's an android. He can just as easily be booted up 400 years later as 20 years later. So I don't know. Like the fact that we wanted it to harken back to the original, which again, if it's on a space station that's now derelict, and that's the whole reason they're there is because it's a derelict space station, the space station could be 400 years old instead of 20 years old. Like, there's literally no narrative reason they had to squeeze it into this time spot.
Okay, you're making good points.
I know I am. But again, I'm only frustrated because I liked it so much. Like, my criticisms are not to say that I didn't like it. I did like it. But I would have changed that because as soon as you move it to the end of the timeline, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And so when we get around to the ending where we have the fetus turned xenomorph, which was definitely nightmare fuel.
Yes.
Slender Man over there.
Yeah. You could do whatever you want with it. And if you the thing that was missing from it being a horror movie was the feeling of it's not over.
Right. Yeah.
It was over. It was over when it was over. But like, what if we didn't know if that alien had died? What if we didn't know that everything on the station had gone down? What if we didn't know? I mean, that to me, again, that was a narrative misstep that would have been so easy to fix that I'm frustrated they didn't.
Yeah.
And then also, since we're kind of talking about it, I actually didn't like the design of the xenomorph hybrid.
I didn't either.
I would have.
It looked too human.
But then
Yeah.
again, like, what do you expect it to look like?
Not
Well-
that. Not that.
I mean,
I would have. Okay, so here's the thing: the xenomorph is very tall, but the hybrid is even taller than the bigger animal. That's weird. If we're looking at xenomorphs and humans, and we make a hybrid, it's bigger than both of them.
well, that's the other thing too, is that the xenomorph is more. It's like it's a hunched creature.
I know, but I mean, the guy that they
So-
had play him in the original movie was like 7 feet tall, like
Yeah.
6'8", 6'9". So I mean, even in the suit, he could only be like 7-ish feet tall.
So you think that the hybrid was a little bit taller than 7 feet?
It was
It looked like
freaking
probably
tall.
like 8 feet,
It was pretty tall.
8
But
or
again,
9
like,
feet.
The main actress, she was probably like
Well, she is super short.
5'6".
Dude, I think that's giving her credit. She's
Yeah.
she's short.
Yeah.
All right.
She's small.
She itty bitty.
Let's see if I look it up.
But no, I would have definitely had it lean heavier on the xenomorph side of things. I didn't like that it was white. That was weird.
Yeah.
If it was really even almost the same design, just darker complexion, I think it would have worked better. But also I wanted it to have some of that chitin, some of that.
I mean, the look of the alien
armor
is iconic. Why would you not incorporate that into the?
Yeah. So like, I mean, I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. Like that's the best way. But it's fine.
It was a human head, and it was weird.
It's fine.
Well, then you have the combination of the two things because like they grow from the face huggers to the main xenomorph, in like an hour.
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess main humans that grow too fast, like their bones don't grow right.
Would it be? Yeah.
So with the combination of the two,
what's that? The Marfan syndrome or whatever?
Yeah. The combination
that checks
of the
out. That's a
genes,
decent observation. I'll give you credit on that. I still think it was a bad design, but I'll give you credit on it. Like that's an interesting thought.
So lead actress Kaylee Spaney.
Sure.
It's Spaeny. Spaeny.
Sure. Spaney sounds right.
She is 5'1".
Yeah. She teenty.
Yeah. 5'1".
She teenty.
So what was the thing that kept it from being a 5?
Yeah. Because I have more criticisms, but let's do yours.
Oh, yeah. Like, when we talked about the difference between horror and thriller and suspense movies and things like that, and it did like a really weird horror thing where one, the girl that was pregnant, you're telling me she fell 20 feet out of the ship
and that baby's fine?
She fell on her butt.
Everyone
was falling on their
She
butts.
actually like spiraled. She hit her head.
She did.
And then flipped and then hit the ground.
First
again.
off, the fact that she got up at all.
Yeah.
But that's part of it.
And I'm like,
fine.
I'll look past it.
Yeah, it's fine.
And then when she discovers the big egg on the wall, and the other guy comes in, like the cousin, I think it was, and zaps it, it attacks him, and then he's laying up under it as the blood's dripping down and burning him. Roll out the way. What you doing? Like, I get it. Yes, it's acid. Your eye hurts.
Roll out the way.
Maybe at that point.
Like, you're in a hallway, bro. You got a lot of space either direction.
It was a huge hallway. Just get out the way.
Okay, honestly, I vibe with that. If I'm hurt or something, I'm not moving. I'm just gonna lay there.
Corey's just Peter Griffining.
Let's take it back. Let's go back in this franchise to Prometheus, which I actually just watched a couple days ago.
I liked
Prometheus. I loved it.
Okay,
but that's the first movie in this franchise that got to me as far as the gore. Like Alien movies, they've always been gory, but like it's not the gore that's really bothered me. But when it came to the C-section, that movie, that was so visceral that I was like, I had to walk away. It was so bad because like they showed everything.
Let me go get some grass.
And for some reason, the thing that got to me is the fact that she immediately got stapled and walked away. I'm just like, well, how are you walking after that?
She had to.
So the fact, like, if that was me, I would be passed out. So the guy that was like dripping acid, I would be laying there.
So what you're telling me is Corey would not make it to the end of the movie.
No, absolutely would not be in the second one.
Like I would be passed out.
Corey's not in the sequel.
I'd be in shock.
Well, okay, so
like as soon as I saw my fingers melting away, no, I'm done.
Well, that was after.
Okay.
After he was being dripped on. Because he was like rubbing on something.
It's literally because he didn't move out of the way.
Yeah. Like it ended up pooling on him, so he touched it. And I'm like, get out the way. Just go. Because she was standing there. And actually, was she dripped down?
No, she was just.
No, she was literally just standing
there. She was at the door. She couldn't get out. No, that was after that.
No, she was literally watching him handle business. And she did not just go over there and drag him out.
Yeah.
She sucks.
Yeah, I mean that was the only thing that was just like, come on.
I mean, he had to die.
He really did. He was a
dick. The dick always has to die.
Yeah, it's true.
And they usually get the worst death. And I think from a horror standpoint, his was probably the worst.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. But also, I would say like the worst one was in Stranger Things. If you have not seen that, have you seen it? Stranger Things.
How did that come up?
It's the way. Spoiler. It's the way that one of the bad guys dies. I would say it was the worst. But anyway.
I meant he was the worst one in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, in the movie. Got it.
Not all time in all movies.
Oh.
They're definitely a lot
Yes,
worse.
you are correct.
So let's hit some story stuff. So we kicked off on the ship, the Romulus, that was actually pulling in the alien from the first movie, which is cool, tying it all in.
Yes.
So I like the setup of it. You know, I think that
first third of the movie slapped.
Yeah, as far as pulling it all in, loved it. And contextually, it made sense. It didn't feel like they had to like make stuff up to make it work. Like it actually just contextually all made sense. So you mentioned the planet that they were on did not have any sun. You loved it. It felt dystopian. It felt futuristic. It was awesome. Anything would have changed there?
No, like I said, first 30 to 45 minutes of the movie, I would have made the exact same way.
Okay.
Like it was absolutely perfect. It is depressing and soul crushing in the most realistic way it can possibly be.
Right.
Like that is something that I could 100% see life being in the next 150 years.
Well, that's
like, hey, your contract is up, except it's not. We need you to keep going. So sorry.
Like how the numbers didn't go up until she said something.
Yeah, no, but that's but that's what I'm saying. As someone who has worked for very large corporations, I can see that happening.
yeah,
totally. Yeah.
So like, do I get my increase? Is it? No, you're not quite there yet.
Yeah, it's gone up. Like right now.
The actor that played Andy the android,
okay,
left him.
David Johnson. He has really not done all that much.
He's done TV shows, I think.
He's done some BBC stuff. But this is really like his second movie ever.
Yeah. Wow. I hope he does more things.
Wow.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
great
Fantastic.
Agent.
I've mixed feelings about Andy's character arc.
Really?
And how it ties into the larger thing.
Why?
So I don't know. So this ties into the whole Ian Holm thing too. So we have, I mean, robots going bad is a theme of Alien.
Right.
Like it's part of it. You expect it to do it.
Yeah.
I wish with Andy, because I love the idea of he was pulled out of the garbage by her dad, reprogrammed to take care of her, things like that. You could have done more interesting narrative things with either once he starts to repair himself and become not janky anymore. If you either never took him off of being a company man again, and had him be a secondary bad guy through the entire thing, because Ian Holm is kind of a secondary bad guy, but there's really only so much he can do sitting there as a dismembered torso.
Yeah.
Right.
So until they were like literally trying to get out on the ship and he's like, I'll drive, there really wasn't much he could do. Having Andy revert back to his programming in essentially the climax of the movie, I wouldn't have done that. I would have let him be the thing that you had to handle after you handled everything else and you think it's over.
Yeah.
No, that would be repeating the first movie.
Okay, we're doing it anyway. Let's do it. Or have his programming be redone when the circuit was reinserted, so that maybe he begins misinterpreting what his directive is. So her directive is do what's best for her. What kind of havoc would that wreak on everyone else in her crew?
Like an Ultron situation.
Yeah, like if he is only taking care of her and that is all he wants to do, that's going to be really difficult for everyone else on the team. Because he is not going to hesitate to get rid of you.
He was already being difficult, though.
I know, and then they fixed it halfway through and they removed an obstacle for no reason. Horror movies, you don't remove obstacles. They just stack up and stack up and stack up and stack up. It lost momentum when he reverted back to being a good guy. Because now I felt like they could make it.
Problems.
But that's not how horror works, though.
It's true.
You're never supposed to get that leg up again.
Yeah, because once after he didn't unlock the door, I was thinking to myself, like, wow.
So that's what I'm saying.
We have
that
a really
was interesting.
Close bad guy now. Like, he's a friend, but he is kind of a bad guy.
Yeah. But again, it starts getting into more of the moralistic questions, which is another thing that horror is supposed to do. One of the questions horror is supposed to ask you is, if you look at it from a different direction, is this still horrific, or is it just horrific because it's happening to you? If it was happening to someone else, would you care? Like, those are the sorts of questions that horror is supposed to make you answer, like think about and ask and answer. And so, I don't know. It's just, especially since he didn't really even do much after he was good again. Like, he was almost immediately dismembered afterwards. I guess not dismembered, but shut down. Yeah, like
disabled.
I kind of feel like they were saving him for a sequel.
Maybe
I guess he's an android. They could just get another one. But
so again, unnecessary.
Yeah.
But
she said she was going to fix it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It will redeem itself if in the sequel, when he boots back up, we find out that even though she removed the disc, his programming has not changed. Like, he was faking it.
I'd be
at the
okay
end.
with that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. If it sets up for a good payoff later, I'm okay with it. But in the meantime, under the assumption that this is a standalone story, it removed an obstacle for no reason whatsoever. And the execution up to that, like if they had stuck on he did not open the door path.
Yeah.
Like, is that inherently evil? No, it was for the greater good.
Yeah.
But did that work out well for everyone on the team? Absolutely not. That would have been, because now they're competing against true evil, which even then, you would argue the aliens are not evil, they're animals. There's a difference. They're just eating and breeding. Like, again, when we do it, it's okay. A cow probably thinks we're monsters. But as soon as we're the cow, we're upset about it. So you've got true chaotic evil with the aliens. Now we've got ordered neutrality, which again, all he's doing is his programming. He's not an evil character, but the things that happen to you might be evil.
Yeah.
That's good horror. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Those are my two biggest nitpicks, were Andy and the actual ending.
Yeah. I feel like if she couldn't, or she was struggling to trust him.
Yeah.
For the rest of the movie, that would have made it a little bit more
good character development too.
Yeah.
That is someone she's known her whole life. And they even tried to kind of set it up.
Yeah.
Like, she was even like, Andy, are you still there? You know, like,
yeah.
Don't worry, in 10 minutes he'll be back.
It's fine. They did set it up.
Mm-hmm. And again, I'm almost wondering if it was changed
maybe
for what they're hoping will be a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, if the sequel comes and they do that, then this criticism is null and void.
Yeah.
But
so I do want to talk about the sun thing. So that planet didn't have any sun. When they actually got up into the atmosphere, or the upper atmosphere of the space, they actually saw the sun for the first time. That aspect of them experiencing sun for the first time actually kept coming back up in really like subtle, cool ways.
Yeah.
Like when they actually got when they actually got onto the ship, they're like, it's so hot in here. Then they showed it was like 61 degrees or something. It's because they've never experienced sun
they've
before.
never had heat before. Yeah.
Like, that's so cool. Like,
it's like
that, or they're all British. It's one of the two.
Yeah. But the fact that they remembered to like throw in those subtle little details.
Yeah, it was good world building.
Yeah.
So much about, and again, like I said, I had some criticisms, but only because the rest of the movie is so good.
Yeah.
And it's like 2 or 3 relatively small changes would have made it a perfect movie.
And there was one part that I got really frustrated at, was so they were trying to get through the room to get to the bay where the ship landed.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're going to turn this room to body temperature to get there.
I loved that scene.
They were getting through.
It was a good scene.
And then the girl's calling the guy on the headset.
Turn that bitch off.
Well,
why did you answer?
He was trying to save her.
I get it.
Is he the baby daddy?
They never really explained.
They never really said it.
No.
If he is, he's kind of a piece of doo-doo, because he's also very clearly hitting on main girl.
Yeah.
The entire time. Guy just whipping it around wherever he can put it, I guess. But
at the same, like, okay.
That dynamic was confusing to me.
It was like, I understand, like, he was trying to like make her feel okay by having contact.
It's not a good time.
Well, I mean, he was trying to explain how to open the door for her.
Go further.
It's not a good time.
I mean, yeah. You're like, hey, there's a key. You don't see the key? Find the key. You have it? All right, cool. Bye.
Okay.
And then get through the room. Because like as soon as he entered, they slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, and plus at that time, they only had 20 minutes before they were going to hit the rings.
Something like that, yeah.
Get a move on. And
I'm sorry. Like, I get maybe just the survivalist in me. As soon as that thing, nope.
Yeah.
Just nope.
You want zero sound? Cool. I'm going to answer this phone call real fast.
Yeah.
And like, I get
Please silence your devices before entering the room of death.
And I get the suspense because he was like whispering real soft. But then they talked about like fear or anything that happens to your body chemistry
Can cause a temperature spike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
get it.
That's also I would have made the room like 99 degrees. Maybe even 100.
Like blast it up.
Like, let's go.
What's supposed to match their temperature?
I know, but I mean, what's the worst that happens is you get hot and start sweating and you're roughly 100 degrees. Like, just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. It's still a cool idea. I still like the sequence.
Yes.
One of the better jump scares.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
When she bumps into the corpse hanging down there, and the back of his head is missing.
Oh,
yeah.
That was cool.
That was gnarly.
That one got me.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So we have kind of skipped around, but my notes were like so nondescript this time around because I wanted to watch the movie. So the first time we saw the alien pop out of that girl, after she did the cool X-ray thing, which was dope.
Oh, yeah.
That was neat.
I knew that was going to come back around.
Oh, yeah.
That it didn't. So in the original movies, like it just popped out. Like it didn't like.
Yeah, this guy was having trouble getting out.
Yeah. They and
kind of made it worse. Yeah.
That goes back around to like the sound design.
You like, heard those bones
it was like
cracking.
Boom, boom. I was like, oh my God.
Well, then you heard the ribs cracking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, is it because the face hugger really didn't get to finish? Like, is that what it is? Is this like a little?
A little weaker.
Was it like a little preemie baby?
Maybe
a little preemie chest burster.
Yeah, it also had really hard time. It as soon as it got out, it
just kind of like, I'm done.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I seriously think it was a preemie. I think that's what it was.
But the fact that the fact that it was slow actually made it so much worse.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
like the hole in the chest just got ripped open just very slowly.
Yeah,
and again, you're sitting in it because they were sitting on it coming out for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, okay, I'm done. That's enough slices. You're still going.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and just hop around. Let's talk about the other scene that got to me.
The birth.
The birth.
And
it's really the noises that happens with it.
Yeah.
That just made it so visceral. Woo! I had to close my eyes for that one.
Praise to you, women.
Yeah. Well, they're not birthing out aliens.
I mean, true. But birth sex.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Not as bad as the C-section and Alien and Prometheus, but still pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Ugh.
In a weird way, it coming out in like a little egg thingy. It was actually kind of less horrific, actually.
That is true. I was expecting it to like burst up.
Yeah.
And
then like immediately start crawling around and like trying to get you.
Also, story-wise,
I mean, yeah, that helped end the battle.
Right, yeah.
Egg
but
acid. Yeah.
What I'm getting at is like, so we get her into the pod, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, all right, we're going to said planet or universe, whatever they were going. Closes the thing, and then 5 minutes later, something happens.
So that bothered me.
Like,
because it's a stasis module. It's supposed to be like
it's supposed to prevent
anything. It's supposed to be like frozen in time, essentially.
Yeah.
So how are things moving around?
I don't know.
Yeah, and then like, well, that wasn't really what got me. It was the we got you part of the movie, to where things were calming down. You feel like you're safe,
but
it didn't last very long.
Yeah.
It was like, we got her in the pod. She was getting ready to get in her pod
for a second. Yeah.
And then, boom, here we are again. I'm like, oh, no, I don't really feel like you were even saving the
point. It didn't build it back up.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what I would have done? So at the end of the movie, everyone ends up back in the pods again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I would not have had the mother die. I don't remember her name. I would not have had the mother die.
Yeah.
All right. She somehow survived her horrific injuries. That's because we're getting her into the stasis pod, right? Into the cryopod. And this would have been after everything else, right? It's like the last scene in the movie. And like she gets Andy into the pod, closes him up. She goes back over to check on what's-her-face because she's about to turn the machine on to get everything going. And like the girl's crying. And like as she's closing the pod telling her it's going to be okay, she's just like, I just wanted to meet them so much. And like as she's closing the pod, the second one jumps out. Cut to black. That's the end of the movie.
Okay. I actually loved that. So basically, shorten the movie. Don't get rid, like, don't have that big hybrid fight scene stuff, right?
I mean, like you can still do the hybrid fight scene, but it's just she was pregnant with twins.
Okay,
we didn't know that.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair. Not to spoil this game because it is one that I would highly recommend. Dead Space had a lot of inspiration from the Alien franchise. Obviously, yeah. At the end of the first game, when your character thinks everything is fine, like it's you think you're about to go to credits, and something jumps out at you at the very last second, and like because like you think everything's fine, but clearly it's not.
Yeah,
that was so effective the first time I played. Like I threw my controller; it was so scary.
Yeah,
that would have been awesome in this movie. It was set up perfectly for it.
Yeah,
definitely. Like if they would have switched the scenes when she's plugging in Andy for the trip. Like if she would have put her into the pod, and then went to Andy, that'd have been enough time to be like, all right, cool. We're about to go to the thing. Wrong. Like she comes back with the thing flashing.
Yeah.
And
that would have been more effective.
Yes.
I agree with that. Can I just say, I don't like the android aspects of this franchise.
I love the android aspects of this franchise.
In the first movie, I had no idea that androids were going to be a part of it. And so that twist, it got me, but it was just it felt so out of place. Like, oh, there's androids too?
Yeah, it's the far future.
Aliens and androids?
Like, it's not
it just felt like it was
future,
too much.
It's the future.
It just felt weird. And ever since then, I have not really liked their addition.
No, but I mean, it builds off the Blade Runner half of the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love the androids.
All right, okay, so that covers all of the gory parts. Oh, actually, let's talk about that xenomorph shootout scene when they're in the zero gravity.
Zero gravity.
She has solved the problem of, well, we can't shoot them because their blood will destroy the ship and kill us.
Mm-hmm.
She solved that problem. Zero G's, blood just floats around. That's cool. Because the fact that we've gotten this far into this franchise and that hasn't been a solution yet, that's kind of cool.
We didn't really have the tech to do it, for starters, like from an effects standpoint.
Sure.
We had wire work.
You're going to wire work some blood, dog?
I'm just saying that, I mean, they kept it new enough. Like it wasn't just the same solution over and over again.
It's a good twist.
She found a new way to do it.
On the flip side of that same scene kind of, in my mind, nerfed the xenomorphs a little bit. Like,
just the fact that you can like kill them in swarms.
She killed like 8 xenomorphs.
Yeah.
In like 10 seconds.
So there have been several Alien video games over the past 40 years. Alien Isolation, best one by far because it's same atmosphere and everything. It's a survival horror game. You actually play as Ripley's daughter. Highly recommend. But there have been so many Alien games that are just shoot 'em ups, and it doesn't feel like Aliens because you're just going around shooting tons of Alien.
Like a very major plot point of the franchise is that they're very difficult to kill.
Yeah,
that's why we're so terrified about them going to any actual planet. You would need like a predator.
Well, even Aliens, the James Cameron one, they were on that planet where there's tons of them. they were not easy to kill.
Yeah.
They killed them. They killed some of them.
Yeah.
By shooting them.
I'm not saying they should be like impervious.
Yeah.
But just
Yeah,
as cool as that sequence was, and I appreciate that sequence for what the point of that sequence was. Like, even while it was happening, I was just like, so I guess xenomorphs just aren't hard to kill anymore.
Not in 0Gs.
Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, the reason they've been hard to kill is because of the acid blood.
Sure.
Like, they're easy to shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. The acid blood's always been the issue, like, on a spaceship.
Yeah.
Because it creates holes. But, yeah. So, what else?
Do we think there will be a sequel?
Honestly, I don't know. And I don't really even know how they justified making this movie, because the Alien movies have never made a lot of money.
No, even the good ones weren't like a genuine blockbuster.
Yeah. Like, the first one made a good bit of money just because it was low budget. Same with the second one. But everything after that, like, I don't know if they even broke even. So I don't know how they've...
Well, this wasn't even supposed to come out in theaters originally.
Really?
It was supposed to go to Hulu.
That's right. It was supposed to be kind of like the whole... Prey thing. Yeah.
Which Prey slapped, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what Jason says, Prey slapped.
He hated that movie for some reason.
I did not care for it. Well, you didn't like the other Predator movies? I have not seen them.
Oh, got it.
Okay. Just our little jab at Jason. It's fine. We love Jason.
But yeah, I would like more, which is my thing. But I just don't know.
Should there be direct sequels, or should everything just be a self-contained story, like almost like an anthology series at this point?
No, I want them to keep this going, because they kept it open-ended. Like, there's clearly
like she
more.
lived.
Yeah, there's clearly more.
Andy theoretically lived.
I just don't want it to be where, there's still one on the ship that we didn't know was there. That's a cop-out. They've done that so many times now. Literally every single one of Sigourney's movies. Oh, there was one behind that we didn't know about.
Well, I mean, that's the only way to keep it going, though.
I know, but there needs to be something else. I don't know. Like, maybe the planet she's going to is actually like a base for them that she doesn't know about or something.
Or yeah, like, since it's so far away, something happened.
Yeah.
And as soon as she gets there, it's like, oh no.
She lands, see it's overrun by aliens, just sits down. Like, what are we even doing, guys?
All right, guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, yes, I would like a sequel. Apparently the opening weekend of this movie's doing rather well. Let's see, release. I think it had like a $30 million Friday or something like that. So not bad.
Wow.
Especially for a horror movie.
An R-rated horror movie.
Yeah. So, yeah. What about you? You want more?
Yeah. I mean, as long as they... So there was one other thing I wanted to mention was like about the sound design. So when they're doing the xenomorph hybrid battle at the end, as soon as she releases the thing,
like the sound completely cuts out.
It cuts out. All you heard.
Yeah, because there's no sound in space.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, awesome detail. Not a lot of people think about that.
Well, the movie opened like that. There was no sound.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, and that was another thing. There was no sound, so it was like really, really eerie. And it was like you knew what you were getting into.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah,
love it.
Again, please don't misunderstand. I liked the movie.
You just want to fix it.
Right? I just wanted to fix it because there were not even that many changes. Like 2 or 3 changes, and I think it would have been heightened.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, you should see it. Everyone should see it. It's a good movie.
Do the thing.
If you like horror movies, if you like sci-fi, definitely if you like the Alien series, go see it. It's good. It's worth it. It is kind of a soft reboot. I don't think anyone's gonna say it's not.
It's kind of like the twisters of it all.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's reboot is not the correct word.
Yeah.
It is a good starting point.
Yeah.
If you just don't feel like watching the other 6 Alien movies.
Yeah,
that's quite the day.
Yeah. Any final thoughts?
No. Love it.
All right. Cool. Yeah, it's a 4.03 out of 5 from Eat Sleep Nerd. We highly recommend, but as we've discussed here, there are some things we had fixed about it. So hopefully in the sequel that we do want, what the world was that?
Don't worry about it.
All right. Hopefully we get a sequel. Hopefully they address our concerns. Hopefully they're watching this and they have our number. So thank you for tuning in. Go like this video, leave some comments, let us know how you felt about it, the story beats and stuff that you did and did not like. Go
engage.
Yes. Go check out our spoiler-free review if you have not watched that already. See if we agree with your opinions as well. Share this with your friends. Subscribe. Go listen to us on the podcast channels. Eat, Sleep, Nerd. Go follow us there. Give us a 5-star rating. And Eat, Sleep, Nerd. Take these people.
Yeah. Game over, man.